Are we blessed? Yes, we are. Is that better? Okay. Thank you. Well, today we're going to talk about spiritual discernment and tailor-making your own spiritual path. You know what discernment is. It's like this lady, Susan, whose boyfriend finally proposed to her, and she thought, and she said, you know, I really love the simple things of life, but I don't want one for my husband. The Buddhists have a saying, and it's, if you meet Buddha on the path, kill him. To me, this is about spiritual discernment. What the Buddhists mean by that is that if you enhance your spiritual quest on somebody else's spiritual script, bury it. You are a unique expression in the mind of God, and you, therefore, have a unique path. Proverbs 20:12 says, ears that hear, eyes that see, the Lord God made them both. Now what this is talking about is your inner eye and your inner ear, that place of discernment when you're really observing and you're really listening, that instinctively you have the gift of knowing the truth if you just don't bury it away from yourself. Martha Graham was a very famous choreographer from a long, long time ago. And she says, there is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. There is truth in every spiritual path, but only we can know what resonates within ourselves. It's sort of like this atheist guy that's swimming in the ocean, and he looks up and he sees this fin coming toward him. Doo, 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 doo. And so he starts hollering, help me, help me. And he hears a voice that says, why should I help you? You don't even believe in me. And the guy says, if you can make that shark believe in you, then I guess I'll become a believer. So he looks over, and it looks like this shark's got his little fins together, and he's praying. And he looks again, and there's the shark with his little fin going, making the sign of the cross. And so he swims a little bit closer, and he hears the shark say, bless us, O Lord, with this thy bounty which we are about to receive. So wherever we find ourselves in good moments or challenging moments, the truth will be revealed to us appropriate for that situation. All paths come from God, and each has a truth to offer. And I'm certainly not going to sit in condemnation of any path that uplifts. We are, however, evolving beings, and a path that fits your need today may not fit your path for tomorrow. We take with us an external truth that we've absorbed and move on to face the next stage of our evolvement. And we don't have to struggle. It's like this. It's like Keller, my grandson, when he was 2, he didn't have to struggle to become 3. He just became 3. And that's what happens to us in our spiritual involvement. It just very subtly moves on. So if you remember, I can remember this far back when I was a teenager. And there is a secret about teenagers, and if you remember, you know this is true about yourself. It's this: teenagers instinctively know that they have a secret, unique greatness ready to be expressed. And when they try to explain that, they explain it, but frequently they'll use this gesture. You see people doing that all the time. They're talking about the real me, the inner me, that I instinctively know that I am a great and unique individual. And this is a significant clue. When you see a teenager talking to you and they're doing this, remember, it's up to us as adults, it behooves us to reinforce and bring out this uniqueness that is their special path. We learn and we begin to tailor a script that serves us, and we take some of this and we take some of that, and pretty soon it's like a jigsaw puzzle and you have a whole picture. And that's it about the spiritual paths. There's this little fragment and this little fragment, and it works for you and it comes together just as you need it. You know, it's like the pious monk that followed every rigid edict from his one spiritual discipline, and he was so self-exalted. He was the epitome of monkhood. So what happens? He up and dies, and he goes up there, and he's still pretty dang pious, and he approaches St. Peter. And St. Peter says, well, there's just a little flaw in here. You may have misunderstood some things. He said, for instance, I want you to look at this word right here in your spiritual script that is so powerful and so wonderful and so revered. And he said, I want you to tell me what it says. So the monk looks down and he looks at the word and he went, what? What? When tears started rolling down his face, and he repeats the word that St. Peter wants, and he said, celebrate? So be careful about your spiritual path. I understand a little bit. The spiritual path is not a self-improvement project. It is a self-awareness project. So don't get so caught up in the truth that you forget about the spirit of the truth. Another red flag about spiritual paths is if it's about a personality, run. Kill the messenger. Beware of the master who says he is master. There are always disciplines for the spiritual seeker, but they're reasonable ones and they're simple ones. I've heard spiritual teachers say the most far-fetched BS, that's belief system. Belief system. I mean, they'll tell you, you've got to meditate facing the east, facing the north, facing this. They'll tell you you've got to flip upside down and kiss the Blarney Stone. Now, people, come on. Whenever a spiritual discipline tells you about something out there, it isn't about out there. It's about that kind of a spiritual discipline makes you weak and robs you of your power. The spiritual disciplines that matter are the ones that lead you to know your true self and lead you to go within. And meditation being the key. Anything that encourages contemplation and awareness will ring true. As you approach your spiritual quest, life as you know it changes. It changes so subtly you don't even realize that it's happening. It's not a whole lot of different as you inch forward as 2-year-old diaper-wearing Keller becomes 3-year-old potty-trained Keller. There's still expected relapses. We still have expected accidents on our spiritual path, just as Keller does. And eventually, just like Keller not resonating with wearing diapers, we won't resonate with our teenage angst-ridden whatever we were going through. We become comfortable in the new stage of our being, and tomorrow brings another new stage and another new stage, and we evolve. It's just unique to our path. You know, we've been watching TV and watching the Pope, and to see all that unification, you know, I admire those people on their unique spiritual quest and how much they've lifted the vibrations in the planet. I may not be a Roman Catholic, but I have to admire the spirituality that they're expressing. So even though that's not my path, I admire and respect it. So thus it is as we move forward in our spiritual path and our understanding. Becoming spiritually aware is like moving from kindergarten to the first grade and learning the alphabet. Now, I know that I can promise you this. You can get in an accident, get smacked up on the head, get amnesia, and you cannot unlearn the alphabet. Thus it is, when we learn something that strengthens us, a spiritual truth, we can't ever lose it, not even from lifetime to lifetime. You always get to keep the good stuff that you've evolved to. And the mistakes and the errors that you've made, you just get to go and learn it from a different direction. But you keep the good stuff. And then you move on into another awareness. And that good stuff that served you today is like kindergarten, because there's no choice. You get to move on. You get to move on. And as you move on, the strange thing that happens is that our body moves along with us. The body is really an object, a vehicle that is in touch with all that is. And as you evolve in your spiritual path, the body changes. You begin to desire cleaner eating, cleaner living, and that's the innate response for you. Now, the basics of our energetic centers, the chakra system, are that our lower chakras of our physical body represent the physical. The lowest chakra is related to survival. The next two are related to power and sexuality and stuff, holding on to our stuff. And then as life progresses, that energy just evolves up through our heart chakra, becoming refined, and then goes up into our spiritual chakras. And as we go through our life path and as we go through meditation, this is what we do. In our deep breathing, we bring that energy up, and every time we are in meditation, we refine that energy, which is why all spiritual paths stress meditation on every true path. Now, there's an unlimited choice of paths, from the simple to the complicated, and your soul knows which has value to you. There are formal paths, there are discussion groups like we have on Sunday mornings. Do you know that even your life partner is a spiritual path, which gives you revelations about yourself you never even wanted to know? Oh, yeah. Right, Glenn? Now, the most spiritual figures like Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, all of the spiritual figures were at their core human. Just like you and me and the stranger on the street. They were human first. And they accepted truths and forgave the universe for a creation of thoroughly jumbled variety of paths, because they knew that there was a thoroughly tangled, jumbled variety of unique expressions from the heart of God, you and me. Thomas Moore said, "When we allow ourselves to exist truly and fully, we sting the world with our vision and challenge it with our own way of being." Edward Young says, "We are all born originals. Why do we die copies?" So I leave you with this thought about following your bliss. We all evolve, paths change, and bliss is reinterpreted in your life every day. So become deeply aware of your inner voice and learn from the truth that already exists and resonates within you. Thank you.